Hi, this is Pastorsam and welcome to Gospelsite. If you're new to the channel, please don't forget to subscribe and click on the bell icon so you don't miss upcoming videos. I've been reading the book of Nehemiah and there's some few lessons I'd like to share with you. In Nehemiah chapter 9 verse 21, the Bible says, 40 years you sustained them in the wilderness. They lacked nothing. Their clothes did not wear out, and their feet did not swell. 40 years in the wilderness, you sustained them. They lacked nothing. Their clothes did not wear out, and their feet were not swollen. You see, I have few lessons to share with you. The first is that it's not how long your journey is. It's not how long your journey is taking, but how much of God you have in the journey. You see, they are taking 40 years, but the Bible says that they lack nothing because God sustained them. The presence of God in the wilderness was very important. They are traveling for 40 years, but because God is with them, they are lacking nothing because God is providing, God is sustaining them, even in the wilderness. That brings me to the second lesson, that it's not where you are. The Bible says that 40 years in the wilderness, God sustained them. It's not where you are, but who you have. Now, you may be in the wilderness, but it's not where you are, but who you have where you are. They are in the wilderness, a barren place, without water and without shelter, without food. But because God is with them, God is sustaining them. And because God is with them, the Bible is saying they lack nothing. Because God was sheltering them, God was sustaining them, God was providing for them. It's not where you are. You may be having seasons of deserts, seasons of wilderness, seasons of barrenness, but it's not where you are, but who you have where you are. Just have God. Don't focus on where you are. Focus on who you have, because who you have matters more than where you are. Your location is less important than your allocation. Who you have, God, is important than where you are, the wilderness. Because God can even sustain you in the desert. They are in the wilderness 40 years, but the Bible concludes that for 40 years their clothes did not wear out. Because God was sustaining them. God can sustain you regardless of where you are. That brings me to the third lesson. You see, it's not what you have in life, but who you have. You see, they are having limited resources. In the wilderness, a barren place, they have nothing, but with God, they have everything. God can sustain you regardless of what you have. It's not what you have, but who you have. And it's not where you are, but who you have. God is more important than where you are and what you have. You may have nothing, but with God, you have everything because God can sustain you regardless of what you have. They are in the wilderness, but they are lacking nothing. Their clothes did not wear out, and their feet were not swollen. Notice, they have nothing. So, your limitations do not limit God. And most of the times when we have limitations, we think God is limited in the equation. But actually, your limitations do not limit God. What limits you does not limit God. Actually, God starts from your limitations to work out blessings in your life. So your limitations do not limit God. The fact that you are limited, the fact that you are in a barren place, the fact that you have nothing doesn't mean God is limited in your life. Your limitations do not limit God. In the wilderness, God sustained them even when they had nothing. Because your limitations do not limit God. God is not limited with what limits you. You are seeing limitations around you. Just know that God is not limited with your limitations. Actually, because when you are limited, that is when you discover that God is limitless. With your limitations, God is limitless in your life. So they are in the wilderness, but they are lacking nothing. God can still sustain you regardless of what you have and where you are and how long your journey is taking. Just keep hope because with God, God is limitless and God can sustain you even in the wilderness. Even when you're having your seasons of deserts, God is working out something for you. Just keep on hoping on Him. Keep on trusting God, because God is not limited. Where you are limited, God is limitless. May you trust God, and may He do blessings for you. Blessings.